Hi, I'm Christy, and this is Stress Release Yoga. We're going to work on releasing stress out of our minds and out of our bodies. So let's take a deep breath. Let your head just gently start to drop down. We're going to focus a little bit on neck and shoulders. And let your head gently come back up, slow and easy. Nice full breath. Now let's just take it into a twist. So the twist will also get into shoulders. Legs out straight in front of you or with your legs crossed. Either way is fine. We're going to bring right hand behind us on the floor. Lengthen up the spine. This left hand, if you bring it over to your right leg, observe what it does to your shoulders. If your left shoulder is pulling up, try to let it drop down and pull backward. A lot of times I like to leave that left hand on the left leg so I can pull my chest a little farther forward and take that left shoulder blade back a little bit farther. And then we'll take it to the other side. Come on through center. Breath. Left hand behind you. Lengthen up the spine. Again, observe. If you bring this hand over, how does that feel on your shoulders, on your back? Can you still breathe there? Then let's come on back to center. We're going to bring both hands in front of us and we're just going to round forward, almost like a butterfly pose, but just either still with your legs crossed or your legs in front of you. Just resting on your fingertips, your elbows kind of pointing up. Try to feel like you're getting in to that upper back shoulder blade area. And then see if you can bring your head up, chest forward. And push on up. Try to push into your hands. Pull your shoulders a little bit forward. You're pushing your, almost like a cat pose, almost kind of rounding here. And then we're going to try to push those shoulder blades backward and the chest forward. So again, a little bit like a cat and dog, but just with the hands in front of you. And pull back. Take a breath. Come back up into a more seated position, a more upright position. Bring your arms up overhead. Grab hold of your right wrist. Bend gently to your left side. And then we're going to come back through center. Grab hold of left wrist. Bend to your right. And then back to center. Arms come down behind you. Interlace fingers together. Pull hands down towards the floor. And then just observe if they will lift up a bit away from the body. Breath. And then let your hands release down. Squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Hands can push into your legs. Let those shoulders pull up and then pull them back and downward. Just engaging those muscles, trying to pull those shoulders down. Should help release some of that tension out of the shoulder blades. And a breath. Let your shoulders come back up by your ears. And then let them soften down. Just those couple of stretches can help during your day, especially when you're sitting at I've been doing a lot of computer work lately. I just feel it all across the top, back part of my shoulders and into my neck. We want to keep moving those shoulders. I just tried to order some readers because I have the progressive lenses, and then when I'm at my computer I'm always tilting up. So just think about it, if you're the same way, if you have progressive or bifocals? Are you like shifting, looking up to see the screen? So I'm going to see how the readers go. But that is why, part of the reason why my neck is so bad. So I have to do something about getting computer glasses. Okay, here we go. Let's take it onto our backs. I'm just going to roll down. Being flat on the floor can help. We're really changing the positioning of the shoulders and the back. Just when we lie down, flat on the nice firm surface. You can have your knees in or your feet on the floor. All right, so arms up overhead, hold opposite elbows. We're going to bring, all right, so if you bring your right arm up, we've got this bend at the elbow, kind of a right angle with the arm. And then do the same thing with your left arm, rest it on top of your right. You can kind of hold on to your left elbow with your right hand. Breathe. Again, knees can be in or feet can be on the floor. And then we're just going to release the arms, sweep them up towards the ceiling. Reach your fingers up as high as you can towards the ceiling. And so your shoulder blades are starting to lift up. And then we're going to push those shoulder blades down into the floor. Fingertips are still pointing up, but now we're engaging those muscles, pushing the shoulders down into the floor. Another breath. And then we're going to bring the arms up over the head again. This time bring your left arm, bend the elbow, and just rest that lower left arm just past the top of your head. And then we'll take the right arm, rest it on top of the left. So now your left hand can grab hold of your right elbow. Take a breath. So I find this positioning really helpful for shoulders and neck. Hopefully you will too. Another breath. And then bring your arms back up. So we're going to reach those fingers up towards the ceiling. So again, the shoulder blades are starting to lift up a little bit off the floor. And then we're going to push those shoulder blades down into the floor. And then let your arms just drop down along your side. See if you're going to reach towards your feet, pulling shoulders down away from your ears. And then let arms relax. Turn your head to one side. Take a breath there. It doesn't have to be far if your neck is tight. It can just be a tiny little turning, looking out to one side. And then let your head come on back to center. We're going to push the back of the head down gently, engaging the neck muscles. Just a little gentle pressure down of the back of the head. So not really trying to push your neck down, but just trying to push the back of your head into the floor. Relax and let your head turn to the opposite side. Couple of breaths here. Soften those shoulder blades down. And then head back to center. So this time we're going to try to bring the chin towards the chest. And then push down gently. So now it's a little more like we're pushing the back of the neck down into the floor. Take a breath. And then relax. If it feels right, try to look behind you, bringing your chin up towards the ceiling. And then let your head come back to center. Happy baby. Bring your knees in towards your chest. You can give that little squeeze. This may be enough. You can stay with just knees in, rocking from side to side. If you're going for the feet, arms reach between the knees. Grab hold of your feet. You can do feet together, pulling in towards you. Or separate the feet, let the soles point upward. Breathe. And then if you can rock a little from side to side. This isn't really a focus on the shoulders, but for me there's always this little bit of release that happens for me, and that may just be me, it may not be you, but for me this one is helpful with shoulders. And then let your feet come down to the floor. Let's do a bridge pose. We want the feet in close to the hips, about hip distance apart. Press your low back down, and then gently start to bring your hips up. You can stay very low here. You could drop back down if you need to. You're going to come up a little bit higher. I'm feeling like I have to go slow here. I'm just going to take it a little bit at a time, let my back adjust to the new position. And then if you're getting up high enough to bring hands underneath you, you can interlace fingers together. Push those hands down into the floor. So here again, we're going to get into the shoulders. We're working the legs, letting the abdomen soften. A bit of a back bend. And then come on down. Nice and easy. Let your low back push down into the floor. Depending on how your low back feels now, maybe just down into the floor. You could also pull one knee in. Rather than always doing both knees, you might want to do one knee, or maybe just bring one knee in and then the other knee in to be a little bit gentler, rather than just going right from that back bend into both knees pulling in. You can always take it a little slower if your back needs a little more time to adjust. So it could be one knee in at a time, or again, it could just be they're going to draw one knee in and then pull the second one in. We're going to rock, breathe, and then into a reclining pigeon, either with both knees in, or you can start with your left foot on the floor. Rest your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Pull that right ankle on top of left thigh. Sometimes I'm not really sure what I just said. So either way, either side is fine. We're just going to do one side and then we'll do the other. So right ankle on top of left thigh or vice versa. I'm going to squeeze that thigh in towards the body. You can change your pose by where that left foot is. And just notice if you're letting that foot hang down, as long as you're feeling like you're creating change in that right leg, fine. But if you feel like that's letting your legs move out a little bit too far, try bringing that foot up so your lower leg is roughly parallel with the floor. A lot of times it will just automatically bring your leg in a little closer to the body. Soften shoulders here. And then we're letting this left foot come down, right foot up into the air. Either reaching for your big toe or the outside of the foot. Maybe you can get the hold of both sides of the foot. For me, that's super intense. Getting just one side of the foot is enough for me usually. That's usually quite a lot for me. Or you're just holding the back of the leg. Lower leg, behind your knee, behind the thigh. Pulling that right leg in gently towards you. And depending on how you're feeling, left leg can extend out along the floor. Just notice all the places that you're feeling the pose. This too, if you're reaching up, you may feel some benefits happening in your shoulder area. And there can be a little wiggling around of the shoulders. Using your breath, release all that stress and tension out. Then we'll release the right leg. We'll extend both legs out along the floor. Arms can reach back overhead. For me, that's often just where I kind of naturally go here when my legs are out. Again, we're changing the positioning of the shoulders. So we're getting those shoulders to open up. Walk your right foot onto the floor. Gently bring your left ankle on top of your right thigh. If you already did this side, then do the other side. So again, I got a little mixed up in what I said. If you're bringing this leg up, you're going to hold the back of the right leg, squeeze in gently. And then again, where is that right foot? And how does the pose feel if you change where that foot is? You can turn your head from side to side here. And then let that right foot come down. Left foot's coming up towards the ceiling. Again, reach for foot, toe, big toe, or the leg somewhere. Feel your breath. Squeeze this leg in towards you. Right leg could stretch out along the floor. And then we'll gently let this left leg come down. Stretch it out along the floor. Arms can be by your sides or overhead. And then we'll take it into a twist. Nice breath. Let your arms come out about shoulder height. Palms up. Walk your feet onto the floor. We're going to take the knees over to the right side. This will help stretch your shoulders again. You can shift, particularly whatever I call the back arm. We've got the knees going to the right, the left arm. You can play with where you're going to put that arm. Notice what you're feeling in your shoulder. You might even bend your elbow to find a good placement. That'll shift a little bit what you're feeling in the shoulder. Sometimes I like to place it so I'm feeling a little more opening in the back of the shoulder, and some days I'll shift it into a different spot where I can feel a little more stretch in the front of the shoulder or through the that front of the armpit. That for me, can be a really tight spot. And then we'll take it to the other side. Come back through center where you can pause with feet on the floor or with your knees in. Take a nice breath. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. Knees are going to drop to the left side. So again, how you place your arms. Notice if bending the elbow shifts. And then sort of where you're placing that hand if you're bending the elbow. Nice breath. Sink down into the floor. And then we're coming back to center. Knees in. Full breath. Let's do a happy baby again. We're going to reach for those feet. And just let them separate. Or keep them together based on how you're feeling. Then we're going to do a twist again. This time we're going to keep the knees up off the ground. Let your feet come back down. We're going to do arms out at shoulder height. Alright, so I shouldn't have said feet back down, but you can just like adjust here. And then we're going to pull the knees in. So we went up the knees in, but we're going to let them go. We're going to have arms out in a T, palms up. Pull your abdomen in, let your knees move over. If you're having a lot of back trouble, if you're feeling like it's painful, let your legs come all the way down onto the floor. If you can keep them up, you're going to hold those legs up off the floor. If you can extend them out or one leg out, shifting what you're feeling in your abdomen. You want to keep out of that back pain situation. You want this all to be in your abdomen. You can do a little kicking. So again, back issues, maybe go really slow. If you're able to do this, you can do that pretty slowly. All right, to come out of it, if you're not feeling it, if you feel like it's going to wrench your back, to roll back, let your legs come down. And then just walk the feet back. Let's sip some water here. You can be on your back with feet on the floor or with your knees pulled in. And then we'll take it to the other side. Again, we're going to begin with the knees in. That's it. I was going to say with your knees off the floor. With your feet off the floor, your knees in. We're going to squeeze that abdomen in. So you're pulling that abdomen down towards the spine. Arms out at a T shape. We're going to take the knees over to the side. Squeeze your abdomen in over to the left side. And then again, if you're going to extend one or both legs, or you can do that little kicking, extend one leg, right, changing sides. For me, that feels good in the legs too. And then coming back. Once more, you can either roll or let your legs come down to the floor. Walk your feet back. And push your low back down into the floor. If you want to pull your knees in here, you can. And then yoga sit-ups. Yoga sit-ups are with the feet on the floor. Just like a bridge pose. They're in pretty close to your hips and feet about hip distance apart. Low back presses down, hands come behind your head, fingers interlaced together. You want that belly pulled in again, abdomen down. On an exhale, we're curling up, squeezing the abdomen in, curling up. Breath. Inhale, lower down. Feel that lengthening of the spine. Push your shoulders back into the floor again when you're down. Take a big inhale and exhale. Squeeze the abdomen in, curl up. Inhale as you come on down. And then push those shoulders down into the floor. If you're on a really hard surface, be careful there. Hopefully you're on a rug. And then we're going to lift up again. And this time we're going to roll over to the right side. We're rolling the upper body, the shoulders, as though we're trying to bring both elbows down to the floor on the right side. We're stretching the shoulders. We're rolling across the shoulders to open them up. So we're going to come back through center. And exhale, roll over to your left side. Again, like you're squeezing both elbows down towards the floor. And then gently roll back to center. Lower on down. Let your elbows drop out to either side, so your arms are just coming down onto the floor. And again, try to push your shoulder blades into the floor. The sensation of like your shoulder blades are drawing in towards the spine a bit. And then we're going to relax the shoulder blades. Breath. Then we'll roll the head with fingers still interlaced behind your head. Bring that left elbow up. Gently use your hands to turn your head to the right. Breath. And then come on back to center. Bring your right elbow up. Use your hands to roll your head to the left. And then back to center. Let the head come down. We're going to release the hands. Arms down along your sides. Big breath. Good. Alright, we're going to do a cobra pose. You can either come up and flip, or you can just roll over. We're going to come out onto the belly. So this too, just like we were on the back to help flatten out the shoulders, being on your abdomen can also be a super helpful pose for back, for shoulders, just for changing the positioning of the body from being in your chair, working at your computer. All right, so forehead on the mat, on the blanket, whatever you're on. Hands come down below your shoulders. Elbows are pointing down towards your heels. Pull your elbows towards your heels. Just with your chin towards your chest, your forehead on the mat. Observe how that is for your shoulders. Take a breath. That may be your spot to help release out some of that shoulder tension. If you can press into your hands and come up into a little bit higher of a back bend. You can straighten your arms. Be really mindful of your low back if you're straightening your arms. But there's a lot of compression in that low back. But that can be a good place to stretch your shoulders, letting your chin drop down toward your chest again. Maybe your head moves up and down a couple of times. And then you want to bend the elbows again. So we're going to let like the abdomen's coming down a little bit more towards the floor. And so your chest is pushing forward, your shoulder blades are pushing backward. And then press into your hands, come back into child's pose. A lot of times from child's pose, I'll just bring my hands close to my knees. Head down. And just like we did in Cobra, starting to push those shoulder blades back and up towards the ceiling, and then press into the hands. And just feel that stretching, that release in the shoulders as you push into your hands and lift up. You can just decide how high you're going to come up. Head can come up and you can look forward. Take a breath. And then you can lower back down. With those shoulder muscles, so all the muscles around the shoulder blades still engaged. You're putting weight onto your hands. Your shoulder blades are pushing up towards the ceiling. And then you can just lower down. It's a little bit like a cat and dog movement, but you're not really flexing the spine. You're keeping your back a little flatter. And I think it's a little more intense in the shoulders. Okay, I'm going to have another sip of water. And let's do a lunge. We're going to bring the right foot forward. Shift your hips forward, trying to lengthen out that back leg. And then we'll take it into a twist. Left hand flat on the floor, or on a yoga block would work too. We're going to twist to the right side. Bring that right arm out from the shoulder. And then bring the right hand down, curl your back toes under, bring that left knee up. Let your left heel drop down, lengthen the front of the body over your right leg. Breath. And then bring your back foot in a little bit. We're going to come up into a high lunge. We're going to try to... Ooh, all right. Finding the balance, sweep the arms up overhead. And then see if you can bring hands down behind you. Interlace fingers together. Pull hands down towards the floor and then maybe up towards the ceiling. And then let them release. Bring arms back up overhead. And then hands back down to the floor. Step it back into down dog. Let your head drop down. Come on into plank. Then knees down. Tops of the feet on the floor. Abdomen in. Bend your elbows. Bring your chest down. Lengthen up the legs behind you. So use your toes. Pull those legs out as far as they'll go. Push your shoulder blades back and then press into your hands. Pull your chest forward. Cobra. Back into child's pose. Lunging with the left foot forward. Any way you want to bring that left foot forward. Bring it on up. We're going to do the low lunge, lengthening out that right leg. And then we're taking it into the twist. Right hand's flat on the floor. We're going to twist out to the left side. Left arm extends out from the shoulder. Left hand comes down. Back toes curl under. That knee comes up. Coming into a pyramid pose. Let your right heel drop down. Lengthen the body over the left leg. And then we're going to bring that, we're going to come into the high lunge. Back foot's going to come a little bit forward if it's too far back like mine was. We're going to come on up into the high lunge. The arms sweep up overhead. Shoulder blades down. Hands can come down behind you. Interlace fingers. Pull hands down towards the floor. And see if they'll pull up a bit away from the body. Release the hands. And come back up overhead. Hands come down. Front foot steps back into a down dog. And then come on into plank. Knees down, tops of the feet on the floor. Bend your elbows, lower on down. Lengthen legs out behind you. Push into your hands. Come on into a cobra. And then lower back down. Flat on the abdomen. Take a breath. Good. If you're not feeling like pigeon, stay here on your abdomen or roll back and do reclining pigeon. But if you want to do a half frog, you're going to be here. Right knee about hip height, knees bent. Resting either on your lower arms or flatter. Again, I think here is good in the shoulders. Resting on your elbows, lower arms. You can let your shoulders shrug up around your ears. Getting some stretch sometimes through the upper arm. If you shift a little bit to one side or the other. If you're doing pigeon, up from hands and knees. Right knee forward, left leg back. If you want to do a little combination of, so again, as a video, you can always pause and kind of throw your own little thing in there. Breathe. If you're in pigeon, you can try to press into your hands, bring that back foot up. This again gets you into the shoulders. And we'll change sides. If you're doing half frog, you're still on your abdomen, inner legs facing the floor, knees at about hip height. If you're doing pigeon, just bringing the opposite leg forward, walk your back leg back, and then you can be low or you can rest on your hands. And pigeon again, you can try to press into your hands, reach back for that back foot. And then release. And come back onto your back. One more twist. We're going to do knees to the right. Come about slightly deeper twist. Bring your left knee, cross it over your right knee. Knees drop to the right. Anywhere you want these arms to be now. And then we'll take it to the other side. Nice and easy. And back to center. Feet on the floor or knees pulling in. And then knees to the left. If you're crossing knees, right knee over left knee. Knees to the left. Figure out where you're going to put your arms. Nice full breath. Soften down into the floor. And then back to center. Just like before. It can be feet on the floor. It could be knees in. It could be another happy baby. And then Shavasana. However you're going to be today. Feet on the floor, knees resting together or legs straight. Something under your head or something under your knees. Just try to be comfortable. Nice full breath. Feel your breath flowing through the nose. Let your eyes soften. Feel your mind becoming calm and still. Relax the jaw and the tongue. Relax your shoulders. Arms, hands. Relax your back, abdomen. hips, legs, feet, toes. Imagine yourself resting in a beautiful place where the only thing for you to do is relax. And breathe a little more deeply. And slowly move your fingers and your wrists. Wiggle your toes. Turn your head from side to side. Stretch your arms past your head. Bend your knees and roll to one side. Slowly start to work your way up to seated. And then we'll try to change which leg is on top if you're sitting in a cross-legged position. Bring your bottom leg up. Sit up tall. Hands at the heart. Nice full inhale. Thank you for sharing in this practice with me today. Namaste.